The disappointment Aphra Behn 1. One day the amorous Lysander, by an impatient passion swayed, suppressed fair Clarisse, that loved maid, who could defend herself no longer. All things did with his love conspire, the gilded planet of the day, in his gay chariot, drawn by fire, worn out ascending to the sea, and left no light to guide the world, but what from Clarisse' brighter eaves was hurled. 2. In a lone thicket, made for love, silent as yielding maids consent, she with a charming languishment permits his force, yet gently strove. Her hands his bosom softly meet, but not to put him back designed, rather to draw him on inclined, whilst he lay trembling at her feet. Resistance 'tis too late to shew, she wants the pal single quotard to save. Ah! What do you do? 3. Her bright eyes sweat, and yet severe, where love and shame confessedly strive, fresh vigor to Lysander give, and whispering softly in his ear, she cried, Cease, cease, your vain desire, or I'll call out. What would you do? My dear honor, even to you, I cannot, must not give, retire, or take that life whose chiefest part I gave you with the conquest of my heart. 4. But he as much Eunice to fear, as he was capable of love, the blessed minutes to improve, kisses her lips, her neck, her hair. Each touch her new desires alarms. His burning trembling hand he pressed upon her melting snowy breast, while she lay panting in his arms. All her unguarded beauties lie the spoils and trophies of the enemy. 5. And now, without respect or fear, he seeks the objects of his vows. His love no modesty allows, by swift degrees advancing where his daring hand that altar seized, where gods of love do sacrifice. That awful throne, that paradise, where rage is tamed, and anger pleased. That living fountain, from whose trills the melted soul in liquid drops distills. 6. Her balmy lips encountering his, their bodies as their souls are joined, where both in transports were confident, extend themselves upon the moss. Clarisse half dead and breathless lay, her eyes appeared like humid light, such as divides the day and night. Or falling stars, whose fires decay. And now no signs of life she shows, but what in short breath sighs returns and goes. 7. He saw how at her length she lay, he saw her rising bosom bare, her loose thin robes, through which appear a shape designed for love and play. Abandoned by her pride and shame, she does her softest sweets dispense, offering her virgin innocence a victim to love's sacred flame. Whilst this our single ravished shepherd lies, unable to perform the sacrifice. 8. Ready to taste 1,000 joys, the two transported hapless swain, found a vast pleasure turned to pain, pleasure, which too much love destroys. The willing garments by he laid, and heaving all open to his view. Mad to possess, himself he threw on the defenseless lovely maid. But oh! What envious gods conspire to snatch his pal single quotard, yet leave him the desire. 9. Nature's support, without whose aid she can no humane being give, itself now wants the art to live, faintness its slackened nerves invade, in vain this enraged youth is said to call his fleeting vigor back, no motion twill from motion take, excess of love his love betrayed. In vain he toils, in vain commands, this insensible fell weeping in his hands. 10. In this so amorous cruel strife, where love and fate were too severe, the poor Lysander in despair, renounced his reason with his life. Now all the brisk and active fire that should the nobler part inflame, unactive frigid, dull became, and left no spark for new desire. Not all her naked charms could move, or calm that rage that had debauched his love. 11. Clarisse returning from the trance which love and soft desire had bred, her timorous hand she gently laid, or guided by design or chance, upon that fabulous Priapus, that potent god as poets feign. But never did young shepherdess gathering of fern upon the plain more nimbly draw her fingers back, finding beneath the verdant leaves a snake. 12. Then Clarisse her fair hand withdrew, finding that god of her desires disarmed of all his powerful fires, and cold as flow single quotard bathed in the morning dew. Who can the nymph's confusion guess? The blood forsook the kinder place, and strewed with blushes all her face, which both disdain and shame express. And from Lysander's arms she fled, leaving him fainting on the gloomy bed. 13. Like lightning through the grove she hees, or Daphne from the Delphic god. No print upon the grassy road she leaves, to instruct pursuing eyes. The wind that wantoned in her hair, and with her ruffled garments plaid, discovered in the flying maid all that the gods ear made of fair. So Venus, when her love was slain, with fear and haste flew o'er the fatal plain. 14. The nymph's resentments, none but I can well imagine, and condole. But none can guess Lysander's soul, but those who swayed his destiny. His silent griefs swell up to storms, and not one god his fury spares. He cursed his birth, his fate, his stars, but more the shepherdess's charms, whose soft bewitching influence had damned him to the hell of impotence.